my friends, and welcome back. I'm sure, like so many of us, we are currently being inundated with all the seasonal practitioners, the suggestions for going inward, the idealism of hibernation. And on the other hand, we are probably getting a text message and inbox full of invitations for all the festivities that are going on. I'm sure I'm not alone in this. If you found this page, it's probably because we have similar mindsets and seek similar resources to help us to understand how to actually live in a world that is now really an evergreen collective. Meaning, the essence of following the rhythms of nature have had to be tuned and turned in a way that we're not necessarily looking at a season anymore where the leaves drop, at least the embodiment for us, but we're really looking to find metaphors in nature that collectively can support who we are as a modern society. So I've got some ideas. I've got a couple of suggestions for you. So let's dive in together. I'm Jessie Raspiller, and I'm a somatic herbalist. My passions and my pleasures are really helping individuals like you, individuals like me, find optimal balance in a modern world, helping you come back to that essence of your true nature, finding the rhythms that are most appropriate for you at this point in your development. And so, yes, here we are. We're in the season of going inward, and we are probably being pulled outward. And so I have two things that I do for myself to really feel into what is most true to me, and then also ensure that I am finding those moments of optimal rest and optimal nourishment during the season of winter. So the first thing is, and I'm going to make a companion video and take you just through a very simple step of something that I do all day, every day, and I don't even hardly recognize it anymore. But this is a tool that if I could teach anyone and every single person how to tune to, it would be the one thing I wish to offer to this world on a massive level. And it's a breathing technique, but really what it does is it builds a deep sense of trust. And at the other side of the coin is it offers us a sense of discernment, really knowing and harnessing this breathing technique to determine, is this next step, is this next yes really in my highest and best value to arrive at? Or is there another way to look at this situation, this offering, this invitation? So that will be in the video that I'll link below. And then in this video, I want to get into one of the oils that is really relevant in my practice all throughout the year. But to me, it lends this essence of allowing us to ground and to really root and to mirror the imagery that this particular plant ally brings to us. And that is Black Spruce. So if you've been on this journey with me for a while, you can probably find several different videos about Black Spruce that are buried within companions, or I think I put it in some of our portfolios for some of our optimal balance projects that we did this summer. For me, when I bring Black Spruce into a treatment or even just for self-care, it is all about the mirroring. Well, on one side of the coin, it's about mirroring the energy of the trunk of a Black Spruce, this incredible resilient trunk that reaches for the stars, and seasonally it holds its evergreen state. And to me, there's so much wisdom within a plant that says, I'm going to thrive in all of the seasons. Wonder if there's an animal that is much like this tree. So yes, we as humans, we really want to seek that sort of thriving essence in all of the seasons. And so to me, we need to also look at the underpinnings of what Black Spruce has to offer in this instance. Is how can a tree that can go through, cold, frosty wind gusts and hold snow on its branches, also survive in some climates, in over 90 degrees Fahrenheit during the summer months. And so much like us, I love this imagery. We need to think about what's below the surface, and how does this tree find and conduct itself in a way that it can alchemize the resources of all the seasons that are changing. And to me, as much as we want to be these creatures that go inward in the winter, we are very much out in the outer world to a very strong degree. Especially, if we're here surfing the World Wide Web, it is a symbolism that we haven't necessarily decided to shut down. And so to me, what's really important is to discover these ways that we can really nurture, to utilize the resources that seem a little bit sparse but are readily available. And of course, we're talking in metaphors here, but we are going to today use some black spruce to tap into our roots. This is really no different than a grounding practice of going and putting your feet in the soil. To some degree, there's an actual substance that we're standing in, and we're drawing upon that earth energy. But there's so much that we can also gain from bringing the essence of an essential oil and the energy of that essential oil to the connection of our body with a little bit of a guided meditation. So that's what we're going to do today. And so if you are finding yourself at this point of the video and you don't have black spruce, that is okay. I invite you to drop into the meditation with us and then decide, use your discernment, maybe watch the next video to decide if black spruce is an appropriate oil for you at this time and space. And you can always come back to this video again and again and just fast forward to the point where we're doing the meditation. This will be a really beautiful meditation that if you decide to do so, you can revisit this and let this be a little bit of alchemy for you throughout this winter season, allowing you that step number 2 to drop into your roots. So if essential oils are new to you, you can also go back and watch our other video that is going to be Introduction to Aroma Fusion. It's going to give you some tips and tricks, but essentially we want to use a high quality oil for this, especially when we're getting into the vibration of tapping into the roots. We want to make sure that it's also properly diluted because we'll be doing skin to oil touch therapy here. One last suggestion is, I traditionally love to offer this as a seated meditation, but because it's winter, it may feel really nourishing to lay on your couch or to lay on the floor and to just let yourself sort of drift away. So I'm going to offer that now. First, we'll just bring black spruce. 1 drop goes a long way. Just placing this into the palm. Also optimizing the clothing that you're wearing. I almost put on a bodysuit today and I was like, we're not going to be able to share this video if we do that. We're going to need to access the front of our pelvis as well as the back of our sacrum. One thing I'll say before we get into the meditation is using your own discernment of how long the hands stay on this placement. We'll be in meditation for several minutes, and so you may find that there's a tiresome of holding your hands and your shoulders in this particular position, and so you can always just shift when you feel that energy shift. And I talk about that again in the intro to Aroma Fusion of how to kind of know when you're done with that point, and then you can still continue to listen to the guidance. So what I wish for you is to find an accessible way to reach the front of your pelvis. We're going to bring the front hand onto the front, just down towards that root chakra. And then we're going to bring the back palm just usually facing downwards is the easiest way to access this. So go ahead and find your stance, find your placement. I'm going to adjust my attire that still feels difficult. And let's go ahead and find our comfort zone. Maybe just start with noticing the temperature of your palms and see if you can recognize that place where the oil touches your palms and then the oil touches your torso. And in those places of touch, let's begin to notice what you notice. Noticing if there's a pulsation, a temperature change, a texture, a color. Starting to allow yourself to arrive in the roots of your body, meaning this pelvic bowl, this sacred container. As far as our inner energetics go, this is the space where incredible amounts of alchemy happen. Our pelvic bowl is often the place where All of the vitality that we breathe inward has a place to reside. And it's also the place where oftentimes we find a lot of our sticky stuff, our stuck emotions, our untapped resources. I often see it as two different colors sort of merging in this liquid vitality, this liquid energy. And so just notice what you can sense and tune into here. Notice if there is an abundance of energy, rejuvenation, revitalization. Or just noticing if there feels like the stagnation is a bit more in the abundant way. And our intention for these moments we spend together is to neutralize and alchemize this resource and turning it into its highest potential. So just taking a few more breaths, letting yourself just merge your imagination with this point in your body. And as you breathe down into this space, whether you're seated or in a reclined position, just begin to imagine that from your tailbone, from that sacrum space, that you could begin to attune to the characteristical roots that extend beyond your physical form. Just beginning to trace them down past the flooring of your home, your space, into the earth, below the leaves that have been shed, below any grass or weeds that still may be coming from this winter earth. Allowing yourself to drop deeper, deeper into the earth's layers. Tracing these roots downwards, noticing the depth that they go, but also the width that they span. And noticing from these big roots how they give rise to smaller roots that have smaller roots, and together there is this flexibility and this fluidity that happens beneath the earth's surface, that as the big trunk above sways and takes rise to all the elements, beneath the earth's surface there is a stabilization. There is this resiliency that for any disease that this tree may encounter, that the earth can draw upon all of its wisdom and nourish the roots in a way that they can begin to draw it into this pelvic basin. And so if you bring any desires for healing or nourishing for yourself, just begin to find those within the earth. Noticing even the simplicities of nature beneath the earth's surface, the earthworms who are busy creating decaying matter into nutrient-rich substances. The mycelium network that weaves in and between all of your roots. All of the magic that is happening beneath your seat. All of this potential that we can begin to breathe into the body to begin to recycle out that which is no longer serving and begin to draw upon the wisdom of the earth, the wisdom of the season. And so as we take inventory of the earth beneath us, we're just going to begin to draw upon that wisdom, inviting in the most general way the highest and greatest good of this wisdom to be received by our bodies. And so just beginning to find an inhalation down in the earth that you can begin to inhale and draw through the roots all the way into the tailbone, into this pelvic basin. And then allowing yourself to exhale from the pelvic basin back down into the roots. And drawing upon the vitality, these natural resources from the earth, drawing them up. And exhaling back down. And you may begin to notice that as you draw the energy of the earth up into the pelvis, that this vitality, these natural resources begin to take up more space. They begin to fill the bowl, the basin of your pelvis, with all of the alchemy that is needed to create only renewable resources within the body. So that as we take up this space with all of this good stuff, we may notice that it has a way of neutralizing stagnation, energy, emotions, that even stories that are no longer serving. And so between the inhales and the exhales, you can bear witness to the stirring and the churning of the pelvis. And the invitation can also be to continue to watch the rise and the fall of the energy from the earth to your basin, from the basin back to the earth. Taking a few moments here in silence to experience, to receive, to alchemize. Just taking another moment to recognize the rise and fall of the breath, the earth energy. And then begin to bring your awareness fully into the basin at your pelvis. And just honoring in this moment the energy of Black Spruce. The intentions that you set forward, the emotions and the inspired action that you created within the body. Trusting that the energy that you bring to your torso with Black Spruce will allow this energy, this vitality, to be dispersed throughout the body. Allowing every cell to be nurtured. Allowing you to find contentment with this evergreen state, knowing that you can take pause at any time in your day to rediscover that inward glance, these moments of hibernation, to drop down into the earth, drawing upon that wisdom of the earth again and again. Maybe each time finding a different remedy, a different medicine for the body. And so just trusting in this moment that the motion you've put in place by taking this moment for yourself will continue to facilitate the needs, the desires, the intentions for your body. And just begin to deepen the breath in a way that starts to bring you back little by little back into the space that we share together. And eventually coming back to eyes opened, joining me once again. And just noticing how you're feeling. Notice what the power of intention combined with a plant ally is capable of doing in the matter of 10 minutes for you. And so again, while we live by these ideas and these dream states of hibernation in these busy cultural worlds that we live in, sometimes, and in particular days, our reality may be that we get to hibernate. We get to go inward for 10 minutes, maybe a little bit more. And so we celebrate those moments that we do have in this season. We celebrate the plants that remind us of nature and its many forms that it takes on, and the guidance and the metaphors of these elements that really mirror who we are as a modern day culture, as modern day humans. We can still find everything we need in this modern world. It just takes a moment to reattune our true nature to the essence and the rhythms that are most appropriate for us. And so I hope you've enjoyed this journey with Black Spruce. If you have curiosity to go a little bit deeper, I brought our oracle deck, which is just a really beautiful companion to all the oils that we talk about. So many of the oils are referenced in here, like many oracle decks that have come before, but the messages in here are beautifully channeled and can become a companion in between the videos that I offer. And so just like with the oils that we share, there'll be links and information below for how you can get a discount code and free shipping. And in the meantime, I hope that you find your deep roots this winter. I hope that you come back here again and again and revisit the offerings that we have to be the greatest and best service for you in this evergreen culture. And if you enjoyed this journey with me, please make sure you save this video so that you can come back and watch it as many times as you need, but also hit the like button and consider sharing it with somebody that may need to consider the optimal state of this evergreen world that we live in. And until next time, I hope you venture well.